Welcome in.
Welcome back, twinsies. Oh, if you're listening, you heard an echo, and that wasn't a sound issue. That's because we are on the couch with all five of us, all five sisters. Divas. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Cheers. Everyone cheers.
Happy holidays.
Yes, and
No,
it is, as we've said before, it is the holiday season, and today we are recording on this Saturday after Thanksgiving because we celebrate, like we told you before, Thanksgiving and
On Friday.
But the other thing that I wanted to say about that I realized in that episode about when we mentioned Happy Holidays is where that actually originated from.
Yeah.
That Happy Holidays, I think it was you randomly when we were young.
We were young because we had a answering machine
Yes.
still.
And
No caller ID.
once Thanksgiving happened, that was the time then until Little Christmas when we were Catholic
Yeah.
was Happy Holidays.
Yeah. You
When you answered the phone.
I
Right. The
answered the
house
phone.
phone would ring and you would pick it up. One, we also like kind of would fight to who would get to answer the phone. Not like fight to answer, but you would rush to it.
You rushed
Oh
to
my
it.
God, we did. We ran.
Yes.
It was an exciting thing.
It was the same thing. Yeah.
And you'd answer it with Happy Holidays.
Right.
And it was just funny that you didn't know if it was grandma and grandpa calling or a salesperson
Or someone's boss, like
Yeah.
I mean, our parents, like you had no idea
Yeah.
who was on the line. And we definitely didn't answer the call like children. We answered it like we were,
Yeah.
on the Today
Java
Show.
Industries. Our
Yeah, we're
first
like,
business.
Happy Holidays. Exactly. Java Industries.
That's
Like,
when I knew I was
what?
going to have a career in sales.
Oh my God.
You know?
Or behind the camera or
Right.
front
Or
of
a
the camera.
printing company. That's what we were.
Yes, exactly.
It was.
I lived that dream.
You
You
did.
know?
That's right, Kiki.
But why don't we, before we get too deep into
Too
the
zany.
No, well, not even too zany, but before we get too into sailing into yesteryear, let's intro.
Introduce
Why don't we
ourselves.
do age order?
I was going to say exactly age order.
age order. If you just give your name,
I wasn't prepped. I'm not
if
ready.
you could give your name, your nickname, and your age order.
Okay, my name, Lyndsey. My nickname, Lynds.
I love how you ask it.
Jinx, maybe. And my what? What was that?
And but birth order, you're first.
You're-
We
yeah,
had to
I'm
be
first. I'm number one.
Number
first
one.
oldest
one.
daughter.
Wait, okay. I would say we're not sitting in age order just because it was Lyndsey that me. I was like, are we sitting in age order? No, we're definitely not.
But you had to check. You had to look
I had to
twice.
check. I had to look twice. I am Morgan, as you all know. I am. Oh, my nickname, Mo, Morgie, Morgs, Morg. Never anything like outside of just shortening my actual
mainly
name.
I was
right?
asking for any other nickname because we refer to the sisters on the pod, and it's
Oh, I
not
know
always
too,
by their
but I was
birth
also
name.
thinking, hey, we're among the whole group of us. Does anyone call me anything?
Right.
That's what I was thinking, guys.
Crazy.
And
It's in
then
your head.
rude. And then age order 2.
She's second.
Number 2.
Well, I'm number 3. I will not be sharing my government name. However, just kidding. No, my name is actually Kathleen after our grandmother. But I typically go by Kiki or Katie Beth or KB. And there's a bunch of others, but those are the main.
And then I'm Stacey, and I'm the fourth. And nickname wise, I'm Stace or Stacey, and that's all I'm going to share. Now that I have nieces and
There's
nephews,
one
I
that
just
you're
want you to be mindful.
Yeah,
because
it's
I don't
fine.
want to nickname them, so I want you all to be mindful.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Shade. Oh, hi, I'm Marah, aka Mimi, and I am number 5. They saved the best for last.
Okay.
That's good.
Shots fired.
Some strong opinions.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, she did a tagline. We should have done taglines.
should have done taglines.
Yeah.
Wait, what would
Wait.
be?
Should we stop recording? Or to
No,
restart?
No, do it live.
Do it live.
Do it live. You're on the spot. What's your tagline, Jinx?
Oh, I need a minute.
They
Let me
say
think.
I'm loud, but
I am.
But I am. That was Morgan's if you're listening. My tagline would be, I was always fighting for attention, but that's because everybody wanted to give it to me.
I mean,
I
I don't
like
know.
that. That's
was
good.
right up
That's a
there.
good
Okay.
one.
fourths are usually the most funny. So.
Kiki, what do you think? Under pressure.
Oh, my tagline. It used to be, it's Kiki's world. You're just living in it.
There it is.
There it is,
So,
Kiki, and it
That's
still
fine.
is, sweetie.
Not mine. Mimi? Well, Mimi kind of.
I already did it.
Last. Yeah, she started.
Yeah,
the
she
tagline.
started the taglines.
They should have stopped at one.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's less like a tagline and more threatening. Yeah. And we're going to go have a sit down.
No, but I also love to because I mean, if you're listening, you're probably like, we had to do the introductions and we'll try to remind as we're talking today, say like, oh, this is Stacey or this is Morgan. Like we do when it's just Morgan and I, because people do say you all sound so much alike. So now today, I'm sure we'll hear that feedback again. So if you're not watching it and you're listening, buckle up. You might get a little confused, but maybe too, since we do have a lot of similarities and if you're watching, we're all having like a little bit of a different look.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be funny or cute to share what's your go-to look and what's one of your favorite products. And it has to be Yuka approved.
Or
only.
Yuka, whichever, however they're saying it. Yuka or Yuka.
And we'll remind you on the
Okay.
prompts.
My go-to looks, black. Just pretty much anything black.
Lynds is a city girl.
Black jeans, black dress, black shirt, black t-shirt, black pants, black sweater. That's my go-to.
Love it.
Love
And she's in a black jean and a black long sleeve.
I incorporated a little
But I
color.
love the blazer.
Well, oh, you're considering white
Little
tea color?
houndstooth.
Okay. Houndstooth
Little
pattern. She's considering that to be color. We love that for you.
My favorite Yuka product. I like the native body wash. Native body washes. And you can get it in like a mostly cardboard. It has like only a plastic lid.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like a nice, I don't know.
Okay.
I like body washes, but I
Okay.
don't love the plastic.
And that's a good price. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
grab it at your local Walgreens.
Yeah.
Yep. Walgreens.
Dwayne Reed.
Target.
Yeah. Oh, me. What's my go-to? My go-to is definitely a blazer. I have on a blazer today. My go-to is also these pants that Stacey made all of us buy.
Everyone stole my look, but it's fine.
They're literally though, like they feel like you don't have pants on. We've talked about this before on the pod, and I wear them all the time.
Yeah, you'll see us in them all the time.
But the Gap, they are under the athleisure section.
yeah, I don't even.
But anyway, they're loose at the bottom with a drawstring, super baggy because I love loose and baggy menswear. I loved it before it was cool. So everybody that
She started the trend.
definitely did. Okay.
Lyndsey just laughing over here, like, oh god.
And love everything vintage, which I also have this bulky grandpa sweater underneath. I was going to say Bill Cosby, but then I remembered he was canceled. Sicko. And jewels. I love to, I love to put jewelry on.
Lots of layering.
Lots of layering.
Lots of patterns.
Multiple
She's
vintage.
got
A lot of pattern. Jinxie and it's more pattern, more
What did I
color,
do?
more pops. Just saying the difference between black and then your pop of white. Love that.
Maybe just for ease of people following. Kiki, why don't you go next? Age order.
I guess I'm kind of wearing one of my go-to looks. These, again, a Gap pant, I used to be a dark denim Gap skinny jeans. Obviously, those are kind of out, and also my style got discontinued. Classic. And probably a black top. I'm really into an oversized shirt or a jacket. Jinx didn't say she does a denim, but she throws in denim. So I feel like it's very similar. I'm also trying to work back into my business looks lately. So,
Love that.
I think that's it.
Love it. And what's one of your go-to products that has to be a clean girl product?
Probably the District Batch deodorant.
Love local.
Shop local.
Shop local,
Holidays.
woman owned.
Ooh, today's
made in
Saturday.
small batches in Washington, D.C. I don't believe it's actually on Yuka yet, but trust me, it is all clean, very, very clean.
Love that. And I didn't mean to speak over you, but today is Small Business Saturday. But when we're recording this to people listening, obviously
It's too late.
Every weekend is Small Business Saturday. So it's the holiday season. Get off of Amazon and go local.
Exactly. I forgot to do my Yuka product.
That's okay, sweetie. We'll go. I'm kidding. But do Yuka
I just
product.
wanted to share with the listeners. So I'm all peach slices all the time, but I've told y'all that before. But my new thing, Shea Moisture's raw organic shea butter.
+1.
Woo! I've been using it on this forehead, girls. You would have thought I got toxed. Is it not?
She actually, had when we were at Dear Media.
Yeah.
Lauren Bosworth actually looked at her.
Yeah.
Did I say Bosworth?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Low Bosworth.
Low
from
Bosworth
from
from
the
the
hills. Lauren Bostick actually looked at Morgan like 6 inches away from her forehead and goes, "Great skin."
Yeah.
Then she turns to me and I wanted to say PCOS, thanks, girl.
But
She's just
seriously,
like, "Oh, hey, you."
I said to Stacey immediately after, I go, "Did you hear that?" She goes, "Yes." I said, Lauren Bostick is saying you've got great skin. Oh my God.
And she looked at me and I'm like, "I know what you're thinking."
So you're just
natural.
putting the shea on everywhere? You're putting it on.
I actually do put it on. So I put it heavier on the forehead. That's for me, my dryer where I get my lines, and I make sure to put it up. So it's an anti-inflammatory. So that's what I looked it up. I didn't have the other thing that I've told everyone on the pod is that I use just a big old aloe leaf from the grocery store, cut a slice off at night, squeeze out the aloe. I rub that all over my face. I literally do the Shea Moisture first, and then I put the aloe over top.
So it locks it in.
And it is crazy, especially because of like with my psoriasis and everything. Like I'm a dry skin person. And this winter, I've not yet had.
Yeah, the aloe is insane. One of our relatives told me that, and her skin looks freaking perfect.
Yeah.
And she's like 50. You would think she's like skin of a
Yeah.
25-year-old.
And both of those
puts
things
it on
it's
every
the
night. She's like, I've been doing it for
anti-inflammatory.
25 years.
Yeah.
So I did it religiously. I'm kidding. Truthfully,
No,
even
I
with
really
my
do.
acne, like the first couple weeks I did it, it really did make a difference.
No, it does. I mean, it is an anti-inflammatory. So that was the thing. And I was like, well, I didn't have my aloe with me for a couple of days. We were actually in New York for Dear Media. And I was like, oh, let me try. And I Googled the Shea Moisture. And then I was like, well, this is a raw and organic. Or I mean, I Googled just the shea butter being, can you put it on your face? Can you put it on your... And it was like, yeah, it's anti-inflammatory. And I said, this $10 big old bucket of butter. And I was buying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway,
No.
good stuff.
It's great. And then this Stacey, I'll go next. My look, I'm a cozy girl. I would say I'm sporty chic tends to be my look because I like to be comfortable.
Yeah.
But like, I always can do a V-neck tee, a comfortable sweater, like a grandpa sweater, or even this. It's like an off the shoulder. Got it at Thrift, French Connection.
We're big
$7 is
thrifters.
better than 70.
Yeah, we're big thrifter.
And Abercrombie jeans, because everybody knows for millennial girlies, Abercrombie made a comeback and they have a curvy line. So if you actually have hips or an ass, that's my go-to.
Yeah, this look you're wearing is very you to a T.
Yeah.
It's the color
It's
palette
comfort.
too, and
Yeah,
then
and
the
color
turquoise.
palette. I like an earth tones and
Yeah.
my browns, white. I
Yeah.
mean, I always wear black, but like,
Yeah,
I just,
yeah.
I feel calm.
You and I float more to the earth. I obviously or whatever, but I would say on a day-to-day more earth tones, where I think
Kiki and Jinx
are
definitely
definitely
go.
more
And Mimi does.
And
And
Mimi's
Mimi's on a pop of color
on the
now.
pop
like-
of color. Let's get to
But my
yeah.
Yuka or my clean girl product, I've got to say, I've got it right behind me, is never fail Aquaphor. It's the time of year. It's freaking, it's cold out. My lips are
call
so
it out,
chapped.
Jinx. Go ahead.
It's the lip balm, though, not just any Aquaphor.
That's right.
Yeah, but I have the
No, but that's
Aquaphor
what-
lip
No,
repair.
Lyndsey's just for the listener. She's
Yeah.
clarifying. It's the lip repair lip balm. It's
Yeah.
not the butter. It's not the tub, right?
Not the tub.
No,
The
the
tub.
tub is terrible. It's like pour on Yuka. Yeah, you've got to have the lip repair one.
Yeah.
In the tube.
And don't get the one that's the lip repair with SPF. That's not the one you need to be using. It's bad. But yeah, I love Aquaphor. Needed it. And it saved my ass when I was on Accutane. Because, whoo, if you know, you know. Mimi.
I was like, which mic do I take?
Who did one?
What were the questions again?
What is your look? What's your, what are you wearing now? And what's your go-to look?
Right now, I'm wearing pleather pants from Forever 21
Okay.
and a custom top from the Ivory Coast. And
Custom, girl.
Sure.
Auntie Claudia gave it to me. It's Mayton's aunt and my fiance.
Cheers. We haven't said that yet on the pod. It was
I thought you had.
No, we don't want to be the bear. We don't want to be the ones
Well,
that
you've
announce it
mentioned
to the
us
world.
before, so-
Mimi, our 2 million listeners.
2 million. And my go-to look just depends on where I'm going. Like if I'm going to class, I wear sweatpants and like a crew neck, like a comfy crew neck. But if I'm, I have a family photo shoot, then I'm gonna go full out. And then my go-to yucca is that Aquaphor. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
The same lip repair that you talked about.
Yeah, love that. Well, and it's funny too because we all have like a little bit of a different look, but like honestly, even little Diva, Kiki's daughter, they were staying at my house last night because of Thanksgiving, and she actually went up into my office today. And she goes, "Why do you and my mom have all the same stuff?" And she was saying this. I mean, there was some stuff out that was like photos and, that obviously we're going to have the same family photos and things, but it was my sweaters. And so there were some of them that she was looking, and she said to me this morning when I got up, I put on a sweatshirt. And she's like, "You look like Auntie Mimi." And then I put on sweatpants, and she's like, "Now you really look like Auntie Mimi." But it was funny too because I was wearing like a sweatshirt from high school, so it said like our high school name on it.
Oh my God.
And I was dying. But yeah, so we you could probably shop in each other's closets, but everybody has more of their go-to.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah. But you probably heard too. Well, one, Morgan and I say at the end of every pod or randomly, we're always like Divas. And if you knew us before this, we would always say Divas. Even working in the best was in the 2012 era. I worked at a startup in DC, and we had some overlaps of just small circles, right? And so some of Morgan's former coworkers then worked in my office, and we had this thing where there were TV screens all around the office, and you could it was like what do you call it when it's like a word cloud? Like kind of like with Twitter.
Yeah.
Back when hashtags first started.
Yeah, when hashtags first started, when people would try to so we would have like trends on the office monitors. We would always, people on my team, and we were like a team of there was like 25 of us, 20 somethings. And because they knew I was around my sisters a lot with happy hours and things, and I'd be like, "Diva," or I'd be like, "Okay, Diva," just saying to other girls. And some people would be like, "Oh my gosh, you and your Divas." But one friend in particular, Andy. I'll just say it.
Yeah.
Andy would always be like, "Getting Divas trending," and Diva, we would all do it on our team. We'd be like, hashtag Divas, Divas, Divas. Try to get Divas to be the biggest word on the screen. But it was always the origin. Do you want to tell the origin?
Oh my God. Well, the origin was just that Fresh Prince, when we were kids, and the sisters on Fresh Prince when they'd see each other and they'd all be together back in the same place as adults, Will's and they would scream, "Divas!" and just throw their arms out. Sorry, Brad. But yeah, they'd look at each other and just scream, Divas, and jump and freak out, and yada yada. That's us.
Yeah. So then Divas just kind of became also just addressing people like, "Hey Diva,"
"Hey Diva,"
if you were one of the girlfriends in the group or one of the gays in the group.
It totally become gender neutral.
It also makes a statement. If you're in the bar and one of us was walking in and you yell, "Diva,"
well, yeah,
it was.
And it was
a little
also
moment.
in college or early career, when Beyonce had the song with
"I'm a Diva," that one.
Yeah, it was and also "She Ain't No Diva," War, who's obviously you hear his name on the Bible, a close friend of all of ours. I remember specifically one night, I think we were going back roading, but he was like, "She ain't no diva" in the car. And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's so funny." He was just started saying diva too, but on his own, not knowing that the sisters have a diva thing. So then we just amped it up. Yeah.
Well, and he would also do diva, 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 diva.
She ain't no diva. But yeah, so just had to get the little tidbits. People are probably like, "Why are they saying divas DIFTs?" We're not trying to make divas our term. It already was.
It's been trending.
Yeah. But,
DIFTs catch up.
I think it would be funny, or we talked about where we gave the little intro of who's who, age order. What's your nickname? State your name. And Morgan knows this has been a topic on the list since we started, doing our brainstorms of topics before we launched the pod. I have said over and over again, we need to do birth order.
Yeah.
And Morgan's always like, "Stacey's obsessed with birth order."
You are.
I am so intrigued by it because I really do think I have a knack for when I meet someone, if they tell me "Oh, I have, 4 siblings or 3 siblings," I'm always I bet I can guess. And I have done it with a CEO of a company I've worked for. And he was like, how'd you know that? I'm like, because you're successful. You'd like to be in control of things. Da, 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 da. I'm like, you're the oldest male. And he's like, yeah, I am. And other like friends I've met, I'm like, you're funny. Even with Joe's siblings, because Joe's one of 5. I'm like, Fourth and I are simpatico. Like he's funny. He's one of the center of attention. He's fighting for it, kind of does a thing. But I would say you hear a lot of like stereotypical, especially like online, you'll see like the oldest daughter, you know, there's that big trend.
Yes.
I would love to hear from you, Jinx.
Oh my God.
Starting with you.
Nervous.
What do you think is one of the most like, even if it's stereotype, but like oldest daughter birth order things that you identify with?
Oh, I think, I mean, obviously you do everything first, but like it always kind of feels like final decisions come to me, or everybody comes to me with like, here's, what do you think? And I'm supposed to weigh in a way that's like helpful to make the decision. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be like an example of that?
Oh God.
If you have one.
Oh, so that's pressure.
No, just like, because I like, I'm thinking ones in my head where I'm like, oh yeah. Where I'm like, oh, that sucks to be Jinx. Like, you know, like you say, oh my God.
Yeah,
Applying for jobs. You know how many jobs I'd be like, hey, Jinx, gotta write a cover letter. Hate this part.
That's a great
Help
example.
me out here. You know?
Yeah, and I have my folder of cover letters that I refer to.
Yeah.
And college papers, I definitely turned in one of Jinx's papers in college.
So did I. I swear to God. Oh my God.
I edited it. It's not exactly plagiarization. It's basically my words.
You have to, when you turn your stuff in online
Mm-hmm.
and it puts it through a software. You can't do that anymore because you turn your stuff in online and it puts it through a software.
Mhm.
And if it matches a certain amount of stuff, it'll like a certain percentage. If it's above a certain percentage, then it flags it as being plagiarized.
But if it was not written,
But say it was
where it went online, you're good.
And say it was a different school.
But you're
No,
saying
it's like a software.
Yeah,
I think
a
it's
Blackboard,
database.
like
so. You're saying
Oh.
for
Oh.
now. You're saying if we all
you
lived.
you would have been screwed.
Well, we would never have done it. I would never done it.
ChatGPT.
Right.
I didn't
Wait, now
have
you use
ChatGPT when
everything.
I was in college.
I'm kidding.
Or
No,
saying
saying
now you
now.
could have used ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Well, I can say I never used one of your papers for college. No. And I was a journalism major, so that says a lot. But I definitely used Kiki's
No,
photos
I did
for
too.
photojournalism class. I had Kiki shoot for me. I was like,
Oh,
ugh,
absolutely.
I have to do this photojournalism class. It's low on my list of stuff. I have to write all these papers. And I'm like, can you go shoot at this lacrosse game?
Yeah.
And I did.
And you know what? It was the best. My teacher before basically was like, this is BS. You're not, this is bullshit. Like you didn't spend time on this for another assignment. I handed that in and I walked into class that day and I'm like, ooh, it was on the front screen. And she's like, the feedback today, we're going to go over this one. This was what we needed. Like, was like saying my photo was the critique. And I said, Kiki, I said, Kiki, we did well. We did well. But yeah, no, I feel that, Jinx. Not like I feel that because I'm fourth, but like, yeah, I'll going first.
Yeah,
And
totally.
people come to me for advice, but not like they're gonna follow it.
Yeah, that's everybody in life.
Yeah.
I think you're
Yeah.
like, I want your help, but no.
But at the end of the day, if you fucking judge me if I don't take
I
it,
was just
fuck
hoping
you.
you were on the same page as me.
Right.
If it's not on the same page, I'm not going to take your advice.
Yeah, then okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Yeah. But then, with that, then.
But no, I mean, I was the first to do everything. I had to do stuff by myself, like the whole like trailblazer thing. That's real.
Yeah.
And
totally.
pressure.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's the big one.
Yeah. You were the mold
And it
mom and
was-
dad were making for us to follow.
Yeah, and they weren't like the expectations. I feel like were. I was gonna say they had higher expectations the first time around, maybe a little bit, and then
Well, it depends on who you are, Jinx, because you set
then
the
they,
bar,
like-
and then mom was like, "Well, your sister did this."
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Why do you have a B in biology, Stacey?
Right.
I was like pumped I had a B. And she's like, your sister's never had a B in biology. I was like,
That's
Mom, are you joking? I'm not a
crazy.
science girl.
Well, she also lied because I definitely would have.
That was high school. Then
High
in
school-
college, Mom was celebrating with me that I got a D. That
I
I
was
passed.
not getting a B in
Right, because I
okay, if I
set
got a
the
B in high school
expectation.
biology, I don't even know how I did that.
never got a D.
That was not my thing.
Maybe
So
she blacked out.
might have. Maybe
Mimi was like a baby then, so maybe mom was like, "Oh yeah,
Mom was
Morgan's-
like, anything-
she's
Yeah,
thriving."
maybe I gotta be.
Did you go to
I don't know.
school?
I just was like science, math. Like, how do I get? I probably had a great partner or something. if
Oh
I gotta
yeah,
be.
you probably cheated.
No, I didn't cheat.
No cheating. Yeah. It's probably like, Jinxie, help me.
Yeah,
And you know your lab
you were
point.
good at biology. Maybe you did do my homework. I don't know. Remember?
Maybe you did. I don't remember.
I just handed you my notebook from the previous year.
That's possible.
100% positive. That
Okay, so
happened.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah,
how
that sounds
that's.
right.
I mean, I used Kiki's tests and well, it was for stuff where we had to take gen ed, required classes that you're like, okay,
I love these.
I am never going to take anthropology. I'm not going to do anthropology. This is a
No.
waste of my freaking time, and not an easy class, by the way.
No, it's
And
not.
so when it
It's
came
a
to
lot more
signing
than what you
up
think it's gonna
for
be.
those
Yeah.
classes, Kiki sat with me with that course catalog, and she's like, "No, pick anthropology," and I'm like, "Uh," and she's like, "Trust me, and get this professor," and I'm like, "Okay," and she's like, "He uses the same tests," and I'm not gonna lie. I grabbed them tests.
Yep.
And she was like, just don't do it
Verbatim, same
perfect.
test.
Like, don't do every answer perfect. I was like so nervous the first test to like,
Oh my
be using
God.
it. Because actually the first test I attempted on my own and I was like, holy shit. Like the whole class basically failed. It was hard.
No,
But
that's
mom
why
and dad,
I
these
said,
are
listen,
hypothetical
I
situations.
chose you. Just take these tests.
Look at me.
And it wasn't just me. I think the teacher just knew it. He didn't care. He's an older dude. Like how you have to know people are just passing your tests around.
You either
When
have
there's a
to know
row
or
of
you just don't
lacrosse players
care.
in the back of your class, you know.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But
That's what it
I
was
then would
in my
just
class,
mix
at
them
least.
up. I'd be like, okay, A, C, get this one wrong, get this one wrong, get this one wrong. And thank God.
I'm dying.
College.
But anyway, but more, what about you with your birth order being second?
Well, I mean, that's already.
I mean,
Well, I also feel free to chime in because I think
Okay.
Stacey has so studied this that like I'm always just like it's like the ADHD episode. I'm like, oh my God, talking like out of turn and weird is like an ADHD thing. I don't know. I just feel
we're
like I'm
helping
myself.
her get to know herself.
But I am
So-
bossy, right?
I like to say you're assertive.
I'm assertive. I'm a delegator.
Project manager.
Project manage.
yeah, the delegator.
delegator.
That is your
yeah.
second
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think a quick, can I give a little anecdote?
Sure,
and
go
Kiki
ahead.
chime
Let's-
in? High school. I was a freshman, Stacey, when I was a freshman, Morgan was a senior, Kiki was a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the great thing was, yeah, we're all going to school together, but Morgan drove us. So I never rode the school bus. Sorry, Jinx. Sorry, Mimi.
Mhm.
You know, it's
Must
okay.
be nice.
Yeah, first and last had to,
Spoiled.
well, you say that, but then also my best friend James lived down the street. And so he really lucked out because he was the oldest and
He was-
Morgan picked him up every day. For
He was the
school.
oldest and he was a boy and he was picked up by a senior every day.
Yeah.
Female
Say
rolling
what
in
you
there.
want to say. A hot senior.
You know, and picked him up and, what were we blaring? I mean,
Oh, he would got
Song of the week.
Josh,
Whatever
song
he
of the
ruled.
week. James would also, that was part of his contribution. He would burn CDs.
That's right. Everyone
He
had
that Napster
oh my God, I'm dead.
connection. He'd be
If
up
he
there.
wanted to get picked up in the
And
morning,
he had a CD burner.
bring your CD.
Right, he had a CD burner.
Yeah.
Just like, okay.
That's
you-
true. That was part of his delegation. Bring your CD because everybody it was like, okay, if you're gonna get picked up, you're gonna contribute.
Yeah.
And
I never did that.
oh,
I just offered my services.
Lyndsey was like, I'm picking up 6 kids in a 4-seater car.
Yeah.
And
Jinx,
Morgan's
I
like, I'm
learned-
picking you up at 7:42.
yeah,
She wouldn't even let James be in the back around their house. She made him stand at a door they don't use, like the front vestibule. Because
Yeah.
she's like, I'm going around the circle so we can just go out.
yep,
And so he had the song of the week.
yep.
But Kiki and I would pack her lunch.
I would wake her up. Morgan has never used an alarm clock until she moved out of the house for sure.
Yeah.
That was part of it. If I didn't wake her up, I had to shower first and then wake her up. Make sure breakfast was packed. Breakfast, lunch packed, and I would warm up the car.
Marah just
Yeah.
goes, what? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They woke your ass
This is
up
a
every
true
morning.
story. Yeah, well, dad
Yes.
dad would start, and then he would wake me up a couple times, and then Kiki would be the final to get me up. And yeah, even now, I have alarms set in case for some reason I fall back to sleep after Joe wakes me up and he leaves for work. But yeah, same.
dad woke you up in the morning in high school?
Absolutely. He
Yeah.
loved me and he would say, come on, Morg, come on.
It depended on the time of the year, though, because dad's schedule would fluctuate
Yeah.
based off of winter or summer. So when he left really early, he didn't do it. It was totally on me.
Mimi, ask me who woke me up for school.
Ask me.
Mimi's crying.
You
No,
had
I'm
like a
just kidding.
Family Dollar alarm clock going. Because I would hear it
listening,
and
that's
I
what I'm
was like,
saying.
turn that fucking thing
I
off.
was on crutches. I was on crutches and I had to catch the bus in the morning down the hill of our driveway.
No, wait. Let Lynds go with this. Let
did.
her
I
give
did.
this. This is such a similarity of
did.
first and fifth.
Yeah.
My freshman year.
First day of school.
For what?
Wait, what was the
You
first
don't
day of
remember
school?
your first day of school? You were on crutches. You had sprained your ankle.
Oh, I sprained it during like
Soccer
the
soccer.
summer.
So you were waiting for the bus.
Oh yeah, waiting for the bus in an air cast in crutches.
First day of school.
First day of school, new school.
Early as hell.
Yeah, new
morning.
school.
It was dark out. I don't know. Yeah, and and
Mom
there's-
got your
there's
picture,
Mom.
bottom of the driveway. She's got
Yep.
not a baby on her hip yet.
No, not yet.
No,
that
2
happened.
years.
Yeah.
2 years later, 16.
2 years later.
Yeah.
During my, yeah. No, it was just like, have a great day. Good luck.
As she got on the bus
As I
with her crutches.
hopped onto
And
the
it
bus.
was dark out. You got on the bus like
Have
seriously.
you ever done school bus steps with like 1 foot and a sprained ankle?
Mimi has.
Yeah. I did it for a month. Freshman year.
God.
Yeah.
I can't believe Mom didn't take you to school.
No, she was like, no, I'm not getting up that early. Because also,
Fierce.
you're saying that you got picked up, you had to pick James up at like 7:42.
Well, I don't remember actually. Joe was saying this the other day to me that school started.
Started at 7 a.m., I think.
No, it was 7. I thought it was 7:55. I'm pretty sure we had to be there at 7:55.
We got out at 2:20.
It was like you were supposed
so
to
whatever
you were
that
supposed to
math
start
is.
moving
Yeah,
to class,
I
I
think
think,
it was-
and then you were supposed to like in and seated at 8:05.
Right, yeah, it was
we usually got
8:05.
there at 8.
Yeah, exactly. No, we literally would get there at
10,
8 and you'd
8:10.
run.
We had to be there at 7:25. So I was one of the first stops on the bus route. So I had to be at the bottom of the driveway by 6:25 every morning.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I remember they
That's a
changed
lot.
the time.
No, but
Yeah.
so I definitely had the luxury of that. So Morgan would drive Kiki and I in her white at the time, the neon, which
I started out in the blazer.
Yeah, that was my freshman year. We were in the
Yeah.
blazer.
But I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
my
when-
freshman year, we
yeah,
were in
when
the
Stacey was-
neon,
that's right,
the
we were in the
white
neon,
flash,
white flash,
Chevy
neon.
blazer.
And if Morgan, like Kiki
What's the
said, she
neon?
would get her
But a
up.
Dodge.
Kiki would shower first, wake up Morgan. I would get it. Would I get
no,
last?
I think you were a second, actually.
Yeah, I think I had
We
to
were-
get in second, and then you would wake her up when I'm like getting in the shower.
Yeah, it's to start the process of getting
And
out of bed.
then Morgan wouldn't make her lunch. Morgan wouldn't put her makeup on because Morgan would put her makeup on when she was driving. I remember James and I sitting in the back one day, like, oh my God. And Morgan's like doing blush in the mirror as we're driving down 15 South. You know, this is
I don't do this anymore, you guys.
no,
seriously.
but we were like, oh my God. And when Morgan would be sick, this is a different
Whoever
time.
was in the front
Kiki
seat.
would pack her lunch and put Robitussin in it.
Oh, yeah, Tussin for sure.
Put her tussin in. Breakfast too, grab her Nutri-Grain bar so she'd eat it in the car, first period. And the best was the day we all were in the same sports, you know, together, JV and varsity. But so certain days, you know, you'd have to do like your dress down days,
Yeah.
dress up days. And then other days that we're just wearing whatever. The one day we walk out to the car and Kiki, Morgan, and I are all wearing the exact same outfit.
Well, because sometimes Morgan would skip first period for whatever reason, like especially if she was actually sick. Sometimes she would come in late, so
Or had
sometimes
a
Ann would pick
project.
us up, yeah, and take us to school, or maybe mom or dad. And so, you know, she wouldn't see us before we left the house. And then, or this definitely used to happen my freshman year. Then we would see each other in the hallway, maybe be in the exact same outfit.
Well, this was a day where she saw us. 'Cause I remember she hadn't seen us in the house yet. And Kiki and I both walk out to the car and we're like, but it was like we were wearing jeans and like our high school sweat, like a hoodie, right? So the jeans were exactly the same. And you know that if you know, they were a low rise Gap, pocketless on the ass.
Oh my God.
And Morgan walks out and she's like, we look like idiots. We all can't show up wearing the same thing. One of you go change.
yeah, I was gonna say I knew that was
She
the
was
story,
the
so I
last
wrapped it.
one to roll out, last one to get
Last
up.
one to get
Kiki
ready.
had just made her lunch. We got the breakfast ready. I'm
She
like,
probably-
James is waiting down the hill.
She probably saw
De-iced.
Kiki's outfit when Kiki was waking her
Oh my
up.
God. She's like, why don't you go change? We look like idiots. Now I'm like, oh my God, that's the same thing.
Yeah, times
Yeah,
change.
and now she just said, Stacey, may I get these pants? I didn't make her get pants. Morgan's like, where did you get those pants? And then went and bought them in every color.
I mean, I have 3 or 4
Oh,
pairs.
God. Well, what about you, Kiki? What about being the middle? Because you're dead center.
Yeah.
You got 2 before you, 2 after.
I mean, I'm just gonna say I've got it. You know,
That's true.
just the independence. Like, oh yeah, I can do this. No big deal. I got it. I would probably say that's my biggest, probably middle trait. I don't know. There's probably something else.
I
Absolutely.
think
Also, probably like kind of trying to fly under the radar, especially when I came to school, like not caring about my grades and mom being like, what? And I would just kind of try to hide it, you know, like you guys would like have so much energy in the evening after school. And I would just be like, oh yeah, she's not going to find out that I didn't do so well on that test.
you know,
Just-
Kiki's line, mom be like, how was the whatever test today? Fine. I can just like literally see you like elementary, middle school, high school. Fine. Mom be like, fine. Okay, Katie, Beth was fine. She's like, fine. But it wasn't that you weren't an academic. It's like that you literally would be like, okay, if I try a little bit, I'll get A's. If I don't try at all, and I'm like, whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah. And yeah, Kiki would just be like, I'm fine. But I will say your middle child, the independence for sure. And the Kiki's got it. I literally never met anyone who was like our age 20 or our age, a single woman 24 was like, I want a power drill for Christmas.
That's a great gift.
Like, you know, when you grow up in a house of women and because we said this before, like we were not in the house of like, you know, go find a husband. It was like, we grew up in like a matriarchy home because our dad grew up in matriarchy. It was like women empowerment. Right. And I'll never forget the one time I had called or I had gotten this is when I actually had my first job. I got a flat tire. Like I went to the parking garage after work and I'm like, fuck, I have a flat. I'm like, what am I going to do? And so I called dad. I'm like, I have a flat tire. And he's like, I'm like, I don't know where do I begin? And mind you, I had experience with Kiki before. I had seen Kiki jump like 20 people's cars in high school. I still don't know what to do.
Same.
Like
Now on YouTube.
This is
Google
before
it.
YouTube. Yeah, she's like, oh, I have my jumper cables. I got you. Like literally so many times after high school. So I called dad. I'm like, what am I going to do? And of course, I'm like, I'm like, oh, I'm so pissed. Like, oh, my fucking car is a flat. And he's like, Stacey, do you still have the AAA card? Because at this point, mom had given me one of her AAA cards and told me, just tell AAA that you're me and they will show up and, you know, service the car. And so I was like, yeah, he was just called AAA. I was like, well, like, should I try to like get the lug nuts off? He's like, no. And then I get home later and I'm like, would you have given the same advice to Kiki? He's like, probably not. She was so serious. He's like, probably not. I was like, why? He's like, well, you know.
Okay, I'll give you a tip on tires, and this is what dad taught me in like high school. I think it's hard to get the lug nuts off.
It is.
So you got to put your the
Crowbar?
the wrench on there, and then you step on it with your leg.
Yeah. This
The
one,
big-
but
big
sometime
tip.
now it's even harder because they put the guns on. They use the
Yeah,
air
that's
guns.
exactly why you need to use your foot to stomp it to get off, because the
Well, you know, I didn't
know.
even try. I was a damsel in damn distress. No, but because Kiki and I went to college together. And like, that's what we were talking about the last episode, our Vanilla Ice experience of like, we
Oh, I
would lie
died.
and say we were twins.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't even really lying. We were just going with it. I
Yeah.
mean, he said we were twins. We didn't tell him that.
Yeah, people would ask,
Yeah.
are you twins? And we'd be like, yeah, because they get us drinks and stuff. But in college, like it was totally different experience. I had a sister there with me who was already, well,
Turn.
I would say, yeah, Kiki was there for my social scene. Never forget freshman year, first week of school. I'm like, I got all my books. I'm like freaking out about how much reading I have to do. And I'm in my dorm. Kiki comes over after eating one night. She's like, hey, what's up? And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I have like a psych test. You know, I have all this reading to do. And she's like, why did you buy your psych book? What? She's like, you're reading that? I'm like, what are you talking about, Kiki? Like, I have so much. I'm highlighting. I'm making fucking flashcards. You know, I'm panicked.
I was like, just go to class.
He's like, just go and get credit. Like, you get attendance credit, and then just like the tests aren't
Just
that
listen
hard.
to them. Just listen to what they're saying, and then you'll be good.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, I'm dead.
No, well, anything else, Kiki, with the third?
No, I don't think so. I think those are the main.
No, but who was it, Jinx? The comedian. Oh, I'm blanking. The one late night host stand up.
Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Little stand up. How the middle child, basically you have the oldest, the youngest, they're like, oh, what happened? The middle child is just like, by the time they're 2, they're like, what do you want for breakfast? I'll make you the smoothie. Can I get you anything? Do you need coffee? And it's just running around the house, like running the house.
Yeah.
Like running the
The
house.
child's like making us espressos and asking us we want you lattes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's Kiki. She's our doer. Like, I've got it. You know, Kiki like taking things out of your hands. Like, let me cut that. That's good. I got it.
Can I get you anything?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think that moves us on to Stace, our 4th.
Yeah. But I will say I'm the 4th, but in our age order. I was going to say, what do you think about your
Exactly. You're just proving your age order.
Well, exactly. I'm the star. So I have to do it. But I was just going to say, in our age order, Mimi's our youngest, but she's our bonus baby, which is like, you know, that's my husband Joe is the same. And so I always laugh because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. Like just certain things that like their calmness, their observation in a just you probably saw at Thanksgiving, like in a room of chaos, you like look over and Mimi's like, I've got the baby. Who needs to be fed? I'm here quiet. You know?
Chilling.
Like know how to chill. But it's Mimi and I are closest in age, but it's 11 years between us, even though you'd be like, what? I thought you guys were both 25.
She wants to be Gen Z.
All right. Yeah. I love Gen Z. I do feel like I'm a part of, you know, that generation.
Love your drip.
Yeah. I love your drip. Love it. You're cooking.
It's cooking.
You're
It's
hot cooking. It's crispy. It's crispy. The only thing I
Lot
know
of
is cooked. It's cooked. No, but I think it's similar probably in the stuff that you hear of like, it used to be actually, it's funny because mom and dad are the youngest in their homes. And I remember hearing people when we were kids like, oh, Joan's the baby. And I always thought it was so weird. People were calling her the baby. Like, you know, this is me as like an 8-year-old. Like, why are they calling you the baby? And Richard's the baby. And so people would call me the baby, which now, Mimi, you know, which is funny that I can like relate to that. And I remember thinking it was so annoying. But when we found out mom was pregnant with Mimi, I remember overhearing a conversation mom was having with one of her friends. And you know, when you're like a kid and you're like,
wait, they're talking about me?
I'm hearing this. And I'm like, y'all think I'm an idiot? And they were like, oh, she's not going to be the baby anymore. Like, I was literally sick one day. And it was like the day after. And I really legitimately wasn't feeling well. And she was on the phone with someone and they were like, oh, like I'm trying to stay home. Like, oh, she's not the baby anymore. I'm like, I couldn't wait to give up the title because it is weird. People are like, you're the baby. I haven't seen you since you were this big, you know?
Well, especially because you being the baby 18 months younger than me, you never wanted to be the fucking baby.
Right.
You know, of
right.
or older.
Right. No, but definitely like exactly that with the being that close in age with Kiki, like it was always, Joe says it now. Even my coworker said this the other day, your quick reaction to some passive aggressive fucked up shit. Like your rebuttal of like, you should just do this to them. Or how about you say this? Da, 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 da.
A little
he
verbal
was like, where
assault,
does
maybe?
that come from? My coworker said this and I go, honestly, my husband the one day was like, I'm scared of some of the reactions. She's like, how about you just tell your coworker this? And da, da, da. And I'm like, I think it's because I was always smaller, slower, not as strong. I mean, Kiki knows this. I could mess up a game like nobody's business.
Yep.
If I was losing Shoots and Ladders, the board's going up.
Yep.
I'm like, I don't
her
care.
Real Housewives
Not
woman,
happening.
but it was Shoots and Ladders.
I was just like, fuck it. I don't care. Like,
It was
and,
true.
you know, you do those little conniving things. But I think I read, it was the TED Talk. I'm forgetting the guy. I'll put it in the show notes. This TED Talk on birth order. And I remember sending it to mom and I was like, see, told ya, funniest. And it said fourth borns tend to be the funniest because they just observe and they don't have like this way to jump in there and like win. And so you observe people and you're also trying to get attention. So you do like outrageous things to be like seen or like, you know, it's all you have is just to be like, but also I think it's because the older siblings kind of make you like their little, you know, Like you guys would, you know.
I see it with my nieces and nephews now. It's saying little things in their ears to get the little ones to say stuff that they know they either aren't supposed to say or they should. If they ask, maybe there's a chance that you know, we'll get the thing and
Or doing the messed up stuff.
doing messed up stuff or
I do think we used to send you in to get what we wanted. We used to be like, Stacey, you go ask.
It depends.
You ask
Because then
Mom.
when we were older, it would be Dad,
Can
we,
watch
movie?
No, Stacey, you messed it up. It'd be movie because it had to be even. So it was syllable wise. Then everyone would say something twice. And sorry, Mimi.
Mimi just got to watch the movie.
She was not there, poor baby.
Seems like I'm forgotten.
She's like, you're the fifth. And you have to say what you tell people. Or what you say to us all the time, the bit.
They saved the best for last. The bonus child.
You always say forgotten fifth.
Oh, I thought I already said that. Forgotten fifth.
I thought you did too. Yeah. Well, that's okay. No, exactly.
I think the hardest part about being the forgotten fifth is the fact that
I'm just gonna. Now
say
that
you're
she has
forgotten?
the mic, she's ready to take advantage of it. Go ahead, sweetie.
you have to follow 4 people. Like
Yeah.
always. So like when we went to the same school. So like everyone knew who I was. Like, oh, you're the baby.
Yeah.
And I'd be
Yeah.
like, I'm not a fucking baby. Or and like teachers knew who I was because of my siblings. Like
There were expectations
in the community, there was a lot of expectations. Like, and I pushed myself even further
You're
because
welcome.
of that. I feel like mom and I were like, more chill than they were.
Yeah, Mimi, that was kind of shots fired right there. No, I'm just kidding.
How is that shots fired? I feel like it's a compliment. Like it's like
No,
hard.
it is.
Like,
It is.
when you come into high school and you have 4 siblings who have like academic gifts, like athletic gifts, and then you're following the funny one. It's like
hard.
She said turn.
She doesn't have a mic, so if you didn't hear what Stacey said, she said, I mean,
See?
that's hard.
now she knows how it feels.
Yeah.
No, but that is true.
You don't have a
because-
mic. Like there's not even 5 mics.
Well, that's blame it on Roadcaster.
Exactly.
Put it
I
on the
always
fifth
forget
line.
the 5th.
No, but I feel that too, because like we were joking with the biology thing. I did always admire with Mimi that, yes, tons of pressure. And people would always be like, it's like she has 5 mothers, which I hated people saying that.
That was obnoxious.
That was
Yeah,
obnoxious.
hated it.
Because it was like, it's rude to say to us, but it's also making us you're trying to give us like a role that we didn't ask for and we don't want. She doesn't want us to have. Like we're siblings. And just in the way that like she was
and
younger.
mom and dad didn't make us have.
No.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, she has 4 mothers. She has 4 mothers. But it was also the like, same thing. Like we knew the sports we were going to play. The girls did band. So I had to do band. I was like, I want to do theater. And so I had to do band because that was what was on the docket. But I admired that Mimi you did carve your own path. You did make pivots in there that weren't so, here's the mold.
You always have at least 4 people like giving their opinion, whether you want it
Unsolicited
or
advice.
not. Like, and
Yeah.
when you're like a kid and you're trying to figure stuff out, like you're like, well, one said this and one said the complete opposite, and then you're like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do now?
Listen
like,
to Kiki.
well, that's like it's hard. And then we have like this beautiful like friend family. So I felt like I had like 20 siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then like they give you advice too, which is great. And you really benefit from it. And you have these like really cool connections, but it's also like hard to navigate that path. And then like also be like, no, I'm not doing that. Like,
yeah. It has to be harder
Yeah.
too because you were younger. Because I think the like advice from each other like always happens.
Oh yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't ever thought of that, Mimi, the way you just phrased it, but I think that's a lesson too, just for folks that sometimes the advice that you receive, if anything, the silver lining of hearing 5 to 20 different people give you advice and there's such a wide variety is kind of like, well, then just go with your gut because clearly
Right.
there's nothing wrong.
Right.
It's the times when everybody's saying like there's a problem or you need to do this one thing that maybe you should be like, oh, let me like tune in there. But otherwise it's kind of like, well, then do you. Yeah.
And like
Or
I
if, like-
have it now, but like when you're younger, like it's harder because like you don't have that yet. Like
Yeah, and the
it's
confidence
that's
to
something
bite back.
that's something you develop.
Yeah,
or like,
totally.
oh, like we're gonna go here because you're the young, like you're expected to follow.
Oh, totally.
Like you don't
Mhm.
have the decision. But then at the same time, because I am the bonus, I also had to do things on my own. Like I was
Mhm.
in high school on my own the whole time.
Right.
I was in school by myself the whole time. Like it's
Yeah.
just like a completely different perspective. And then like people also be like, oh, well, like you don't really have siblings. But I'm like, but I do. Like
Oh
it's
my
like this
God.
whole
That's
weird.
so weird.
Yeah, it's so
But you know-
funny.
But
It's
you
like
know
Joe.
what? But you,
We had our
Like,
first
they
date,
come
and I
back and
said to
forth.
Joe, it was a picture of one of his nephews who clearly was closer in age to us than, and I was like, oh, like, was like your mom or dad remarried? And he was like, no. And then I was like, oh my, I'm like, I had no idea you had siblings. And I'm like, I literally never
That's
saw you with
true.
anyone.
I didn't
but
know
he was
Josie's
like, yeah,
had
they were all
siblings
gone.
for a long time.
Yeah.
But to Mimi's point though, people saying, "Oh, it's like you don't have siblings." That's a personal, because not everybody's going to say that to you. Like our friend Cassie would never say that to you, not only because she is a
Exactly.
bonus baby, but she's so close with her siblings that are the exact same age difference as you. And same thing with us. We're so close with you, but that is just a total when people can't have a relationship when there's 4 years apart. There's like, well, there's no way that, and they think it's the age.
But
and then
also
they're
just
like, well,
what
there's
they're
no.
seeing, like you're saying.
But that's what I
High
mean.
school, and it's not like we
Oh.
could go to all her high school games and
Well,
stuff.
no,
We were
no.
like
I'm
living-
saying she's
yeah.
saying people saying it's
Oh,
like you
it's like
knowing
you
she
don't.
does.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it wasn't a lot of people, but sometimes people do say that. But then they also like, oh, you're spoiled because you're the youngest. I hate that so much. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it is
like,
a weird
thing to
assumption.
say. Like,
yeah,
you can be the oldest and be spoiled, or be the middle child and be spoiled. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's not like how our parents raised us.
But also kind of hard not for them to. It's not even spoiling to have a different experience because it's totally different when you're raising one child in your home. And again, I'm only saying this too because it's so funny. It's so same show. One child in your home versus 4 mouths to feed.
Well, and my husband's an only child and he says it all the time how he wasn't spoiled. And I believe it. It's not what like people think of like, oh, you're spoiled, so you get everything that you want, that and more,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But I will say this. Stacey and I definitely made sure you knew what it was like to have a sibling.
oh,
You sure did. And I would get hell about it though. It wasn't always. It would always be like, "How
Yeah.
old are you, Stacey?"
Yeah,
and I'm like,
exactly.
"I'm trying to be a sibling."
Right.
But we did it anyway. We didn't care what Joy was telling us.
Yeah, we did
exactly.
it anyway. Yeah, stop
Exactly.
antagonizing her.
exactly.
Was the
Well,
line.
like, actually,
You're fighting with a 2-year-old.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, we're like,
Right.
she needs this.
Right.
Yeah, well, she
exactly.
needs this.
Exactly.
But it was really interesting too because when Mimi was born, there was like a group of friends like in my class at the time. This is when we were like in private school, so we had small classes that they also had a sibling born. And it maybe wasn't the same, well, it was same age gap with them, obviously, but they had other siblings in between. But it was like this weird just coincidence that we all then had like a sibling in the same
Mhm,
class,
mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
yeah, there's quite a few people from your class
Yeah.
that I went to our grade school with.
Yeah. So it also was like a different, I don't know, different dynamic.
There could have been
too,
more of a
because-
connection with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we were more aware when we were older, like, because again, like Mimi was saying, we all weren't in the same classes, but we were aware of like just like you and like Adam being like these little babies at things where we're like, whatever, they need to be around, and see same that too, just like the younger sibling, like bringing them around when
Well,
it was so much older.
Yeah.
yes.
It was around for a
Well,
lot.
that's the stuff.
I
Mimi,
mean,
when we were going to
maybe-
concerts.
Concerts at 4 or in her teens in a bar in DC with 20
Yeah, that's
something
true.
or
bachelorette parties.
bachelorette parties
Where
with
we're like, use my
30 some-
ID
Yeah.
and I'm 30.
the
yeah.
student section at a high school game. I used to
Yeah.
sit in the student section with your friends and watch you
Yeah.
guys play whatever sport, and they would
Yes.
take care of me.
And it was so cute
Yeah.
because you legitimately were like, this is my crew.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, these are
Started
my
a club.
friends.
You started a club.
The Chicken Tender Roosters.
Oh, the
Club.
Chicken Tender
Yep.
Roosters. If you know, you know. Yeah,
You know,
if
you
you're
know.
in the club. Somebody said that to me recently. He's like, oh
I'm
my God, I
dead.
forgot about that. I'm like, yeah, Mimi had like assigned you as
I
basically like
forgot
co-chair
that was
of
the,
the club.
name. That
Chicken
it was
Tender
so
Roosters.
good. The Chicken Tender Roosters. Yeah.
Yeah. But why
And
is
I will
beyond
say-
3
That was
very
years?
creative.
Well, I was going to say, one, it was creative, and why is it in your ears? And I remember maybe there was several boys in that club.
was mostly boys.
It was mainly boys. And that is exactly how I would have been at 4.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
proud of
say,
you
and
for
it was
that.
very similar to Morgan.
Yeah,
Morgan.
like,
We've all talked
my
about it
chicken
before.
tender rooster club would have also been only men.
Yeah, Tom Selleck.
And I would go around and I'd say, "Do you want to be in my club?"
Literally, Mom was just talking
Life
about
is
it today.
sales.
How we would also, it wasn't just us, but Mom was talking about how we would always, like, we would lose Marah a lot. Like Marah would get lost at events. But it wasn't like, it was more like high school events, like literally if we were at the high school gamer.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just because we assumed, oh, Lyndsey has her, Kiki Beth has, somebody has her,
Or
because she also
one
knew
of
her
our
friends.
friends,
Yeah.
Yeah. And she'd be doing her own wandering, so we can't,
Yeah, she's like, I'm with the chicken tender roosters.
Chicken
We got a
tender
meeting."
roosters have a meeting out back underneath the bleachers. Like, me?
okay, no, that sounds wrong.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, but birth work, it's just interesting because if you aren't in a family of multiples, you obviously couldn't relate to it. But it's so interesting because not every family is one and the same. But I think in a family where it's all the same gender, it's like a house of women, it becomes more of a thing.
Very evident.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we also didn't have gender roles. He just took on the manual labor. Just kidding.
Well, and interesting that we called you Billy, that you were often
I always played
the
Billy.
boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just saying. I
Yeah.
mean, from
When we
an
played house.
early age.
Yeah.
It was funny that we thought we had to have a boy when we played, even though we didn't have a boy.
well,
I
it was
know.
just
I would
when
always
we were
volunteer
doing
to
like
be
a mom
different
and a dad and a
characters.
daughter.
No, like when we played house.
Yeah.
Like I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, okay, I'll be Billy.
But even
Yeah.
when we like literally doing yard work, I remember like, oh, we're, gotta mow the lawn and I'm on the riding mower and Dad's over there teaching Kiki how to use the weed whacker.
Yeah. Never taught me either. I was
I'm like-
riding mower gal.
I still have to be like with Joe, like, what do I need to do? Or Kiki's like, get out of my way. I got this. Oh my God.
My favorite was when we were having a graduation party. It might even been your like college graduation or something, and there was a snake. And everyone was
that
like,
mine.
no. And Kiki was like, I got the shovel. And she ended that snake.
No, it was
It
mine.
was so funny.
Because
Yeah,
I
do what you
literally
gotta
said,
do.
I'm not going to my party if it's not gone.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to have a rager. You know what I mean? I
She's
knew
like,
what
I
was
got
going to
it.
happen if that snake was left.
And same when we lifeguard, there was a snake the one day at Cunningham, and we were like, hey, 56, guard office, please come to the guard
Yes.
office. Please get Kiki up here to help.
Oh my God. No, I don't know. It's funny. I am still dying though of just Stacey being like, yes, an age order episode, and I'm gonna go on the line. No, I'm just saying it's also so perfect that you played your role even
Bossy.
in the episode. Well,
We
somebody
didn't talk
has
about
to take the
bossy.
mic.
Bossy. That's true.
Morgan always called me bossy as a kid. She was like, oh, no, actually, you didn't call me that. You told me later on in life, like, well, when we were younger, so bossy. I'm like, I was bossy?
She
I
didn't
had to
call
go
you
and
that? Are you
change.
kidding? She used to say bossy all the time. I guess she would say it to me.
She would
about
say it
you.
behind my back.
Yeah,
Wow.
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 You
Brad,
were
keep
always
that in.
bossy. You were bossy. And well, I said earlier that I'm bossy, but I think the delegating bossy. Probably because I was seeing myself in you.
I
Maybe
think
that
the
was
only
it.
buddy on the person on this couch who can say that they weren't bossy was Jinx. Because we used to gang up on you. Give her the mic.
Well, I think that's one of so usually the oldest person is known as like the bossy, like the
Yeah.
controlling. And when people ask me, like, where are you in the order? People are like, oh, like after
funny.
they've met all of you, especially.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the oldest?
Also, because you look so young, your skin.
well,
I was gonna say.
that's true.
People just look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're older than Morgan." I'm like, "No, I
I
have
try
an
not to
acne
have
problem."
any emotional reactions so I don't get wrinkles.
It's just like I don't react.
I just don't react. But yeah, the bossy thing is, it wasn't me.
Well, when we were saying that in the Cunningham, I don't know if we mentioned it, but
Even when
Lyndsey,
I had a title.
Boss
The
lady.
state of Maryland gave me the title
beach manager,
boss. I was your boss, and
And we
call
made
it-
mockery of it.
we called you
like
boss
bring me,
lady.
bring me the schedule, and you'd be like, "This isn't gonna work. We need these days. I need you to switch us around." And I'd have to like redo the schedule
because it was manual.
It was manual.
and sneak it in like after hours because I had to have it in at a certain time.
But even our daily rotations, we would just tell you,
like,
no,
we're not doing
no, we're not
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. It wasn't even like as much as it would be like, yeah, we need these days, but it was like, that's so stupid. No. like change the schedule. And it was interesting when I first really kind of, I guess our attention was drawn to it is because we were working with other, kids our age at the time. And they, especially the dudes, were like, the one time like watching this go down, and they're like, oh my God, you all just like gang up on her. I'm like, what?
How dare you say we gang up on her?
And they were like, you just like,
no, this is just like sisters.
Yeah. I was like, well, we were just giving her feedback.
Yeah, we're gonna give feedback, and
no,
she's
but
okay.
Jinx is always so sweet. Even one of my friends' husbands the other weekend, I was going to visit them, and he was like, oh my God, how's Lyndsey? He's like, she is so nice. And she's got such a personality. And he's like, I mean, she's really funny. Whatever. I go, oh, I know. He's like, but I mean, she's so kind. And I'm like, do you say that about all of us?
I think it's pretty equal.
Yeah.
Kindness and
kindness. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah.
Yes, Jinx, you led the way. You taught us that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a
Set you up for
trailblazer.
success.
But it also in that you could have maybe done a little less. Because if mom and dad were like, we're teaching you all these things and like great, and you were just like, I'm a C student. How much easier would that have been for the rest of us?
Yeah, that's true. You know what's funny? I actually been saying that to Jinx lately, and I've been like making fun that's a little bit, but I even said it this morning. But when I was up in New York, baby boy, Jinxie's son has a little school project, and we were talking a toddler, right? And it's like, make a scarecrow. I was like, oh my God, so cute. And baby boy's out with Koos at the time. And so I'm like, well, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I was just thinking like this could be where this part of the scarecrow goes. And this is for this. And this
I was just
going
going
to
to pre-cut things. I was just going to have things ready for him to
and I was like,
choose and put on.
I think. And she was like, it's the family project. And I was like,
Yes, families. It's not just like baby boy's project.
She's like, it's my project.
well,
It's a reflection of me.
It's the family project we
I'm
guys are
supposed to
supposed to do together. And baby boy is supposed to lead the making of, the scarecrow out of paper. Like, and we were dying laughing because like literally I was like, dude, I think just like let it be. Like, let's just chill and relax. Do like, be together, do less. I'm here right now. Like at one point she calls mom, they're talking about whatever. I was like, okay, I am actually hearing it. So I had a whole conversation, just the two of them for like 30 minutes after I had been there. Mom had been there for like 2 weeks. I was like, I'm here now. No, it wasn't 30
I
minutes,
thought
but
you
it
were
was like
saying
10.
mom was like,
We were
well, what I
laughing.
would do, go get paper mache.
Right. No, exactly. I was like,
I'm
what
just
are
doing
you
my
two
projects,
doing
and I'm
over
like,
there?
look how good ours was.
While you're
Right.
making dinner.
Right.
Start the paper
You
mache.
should have started last week.
Yeah,
You should have started last week.
Exactly.
Mom's like, you're just doing it now?
Yeah.
How much time do you have?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like wrapping us up with
Yeah.
just like the best part about like being sisters and us, because I will say so many people say I always wanted a sister, and I do honestly feel bad about it. Like I feel like sometimes I'm like, because it is fucking awesome. And I'm not saying
we are cool.
I'm not saying
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I also know some people that are like, oh, my sister.
oh, totally. That's what I was gonna say. And I'm not saying
I mean,
every
occasionally.
sisters. Yeah, we're great.
I'm kidding. Okay, just edit crop her from here, Brad. Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, so obviously not every sister relationship is the same, but it is, we're very, very lucky to have each other, and we're just like this.
Yeah, well, it's like we
Automatic-
talk about. We have a automatic sounding board,
Sounding board.
automatic cheering section,
Yeah.
automatic, like, it doesn't, like, especially now that we're
Crowdsource.
out of college. Well, like, Mimi's like, out of like undergrad. What do you say? Undergrad. Yeah, whatever. But I mean, like, you're 26, like, you're an adult, not like I'm, going through these first rounds, like living on my own, where you also just give less fucks
Right.
about, I don't care whatever people think. I've got
Yeah.
my crew.
Yeah.
You always have a crew. And like you were saying earlier, then we also benefit from the close friendships each other have made that are now our collective friends, where we have this like, come for me, I dare you. You don't want to mess with us. I am talking to the camera. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But that's very true.
Yeah.
That we would always have, like, if you're messing with one, you're messing with all. But
I'm about to show up.
yeah.
Kiki's rolling.
Yeah. I mean, there's stories of times where I was like, excuse me, you just came to the house at my party and I heard you said what about my sister? Okay. Yeah.
Get your shit and leave.
You can get out. You can get out.
you can get out.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely kick people out of the house before.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'd do it again.
But on that note, I just want to say, Divas, thanks for joining us on Diffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you
having
guys.
us.
And happy
Should we
holidays.
do our thing where we don't have to say anything? We can just be like,
Yeah, I was
Or
going to
like
say
a-
that's the other.
just
Yeah.
sign off.
The silent.
You know, yeah.
Silent.
Like,
Uh-huh.
we're good.
Uh-huh.
We're good.
Or actually, we should just say Divas.
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 Have a great week, y'all. Divas. Diffs.
Divs.